Hello everybody, this is Moose101, and today I've got my Gagaga deck profile for you guys. I'm just going to get right into it. So to start off, I have 3 Gagaga Magician. He's kind of your main monster in some ways, and his effect is that once per turn you can declare a level between 1 and 8, and this card's level becomes that level until the end of the turn. You can only control 1 base of Gagaga Magician, and he cannot be used as a synchro material monster. But that doesn't really matter because this deck is built completely to make Xyz monsters, so that restriction does not really hamper you too much. Next up, on 1, Gagaga Girl. Her effect is pretty simple. You can target a Gagaga Magician you control. This card's level becomes the same as that card's level. It's a nice little way to make an Xyz monster because you can then, with the combination of the 2 of them, make any Xyz monster ranks 1 through 8. And if Girl is used for an Xyz material, then you get to target a special summon monster from controls, and its attack becomes 0. So she's mostly here because she's a piece of an OTK that the deck can pull off, but she's a useful card nonetheless. I also run 3 Gagaga Sister. I would say she's probably the single best Gagaga monster. Her effect is that when she's normal summoned, you get to add a Gagaga spell or trap card from deck to your hand, and there's a lot of good spell cards that you can add. There are also some trap cards, but I don't choose to run any of them. Sister also has the effect that you can target a Gagaga monster you control besides herself, and this card's level and that card's level both become their combined levels until the end of the turn, so it allows you to make up to rank 10 monsters with Magician and some lower rank monsters with your lower level other Gagaga cards. I also run 2 Gagaga Clerk. If you control a Gagaga monster, you can special summon her from your hand. She's just really easy Xyz fodder, and I appreciate having 2 of her around. And I also run Gagaga Child. He has a very similar effect to Clerk that you can special summon him if you control a Gagaga monster, but he also has the effect that when you do, you can target that monster and have his level become equal to that monster's level until the end of the turn. However, if you do that, then you can't touch battle phase that turn. He's a nice card for making Xyz summons, but that restriction can be kind of harsh unless you're going first and it's your first turn. So I just like to have 1 of him around. He's also pretty highly searchable, so I think just 1 is good. And then moving on to the other monsters I run the Dododo Monsters, which I'll explain why in a little bit once I get to the spell cards, but I start with Dododo Witch. When she's normal summoned, you can special summon a Dododo monster from your hand in either face-up attack position or face-down defense position. She's there just to make your easy Xyz plays out of hand and to interact with the other cards. I also run 1 Dododo Driver. If he's special summoned by the effect of a Dododo monster, then up to twice per turn you can target a Dododo monster you control and either increase its level by 1 or decrease its level by 1. So with Witch, Driver can make any Xyz monster ranks 3 through 5, and paired with some other cards you can make some different Xyz monsters. Just 1's good, though, because you don't really want to see him in your hand too much. I also run 2 Dododo Buster. If he's tribute summoned, you get to target a Dododo monster graveyard and special summon it, so you can go for Driver and then make a rank 6 or a rank 5 or a rank 4. And then if your opponent controls a monster and you don't, you can special summon from your hand as a level 4 monster, so sometimes that's pretty helpful, just for making rank 4s if there's really no other options. And lastly, I run 1 Dododo Swordsman. When he's flipped, he targets up to 2 monsters in the field, destroys them, but if he's flipped summoned, he gains 3,500 attack too, so he can become this absolutely just enormous threat. And even if you make him and just set him, your opponent's generally force you something kind of dumb, like ram into him sideways or something like that, and then take damage and also get to pop cards. It's pretty difficult to make an optimal solution to this card for certain decks, so I think it's quite good. And it's not really that cloggy because you have ways of getting rid of it if it is dead in your hand. Moving on to the spell cards, I run 3 Onomatopaira. You can discard 1 card and then add monsters that are Gagaga, Zubaba, Dododo, or Gogugo monsters to protect your hand. You get 2 of them, but they can't be from the same category, and this is why you have to run the Dododos, or the Gogugos, or the Zubabas. I personally think the Dododos are the best, but I think the Gogugos are also a valid option. The Zubabas really just aren't that good, so I would steer away from them, but that's totally up to you. I also run 3 Gagaga Academy Emergency Network. These names are going to kill me. If you control no monsters and your opponent does, you get to special summon a Gagaga monster from your deck. If you do, you cannot special summon monsters during that turn except for an Xyz summon using those monsters. So just basically, go for a network, special summon 1 Gagaga monster, normal summon another 1, make an Xyz play. It's very nice. After run 2 Gagagarevenge, you target a Gagaga monster in graveyard, special summon it, and equip it with this card. when this card is sent to the graveyard because Monster's Equip 2 was used as an Xyz material, all Xyz monsters control gain 300 attack. I only like 2 of it just because it kind of clogged in my hand at 3, and ideally you really don't want to be seeing this when you're searching it off a Sister, or if you're searching something else off Sister and you already have in your hand, that can also be helpful, but I didn't really want to see hands where I was seeing multiple copies of this card, especially just going with Revenge. Revenge is not really your best play, and it's kind of unsafe too, so that's why I only run 2. I also run 2 Gagagabolt. If you control a Gagaga monster, you target any card on the field and destroy it. It's searchable removal from Sister. It's just incredibly good. I also run 1 Gagagadraww. You banish 3 Gagaga monsters from your graveyard and draw 2 cards. It's an easy +1, but it can also be a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes because you want to use your graveyard sometimes, either for revival targets with like Revenge, or you just simply have difficulties getting 3 Gagaga monsters in your graveyard. So just 1 draw because it is searchable. 2, if you happen to have an extra Sister search as you already have a Revenge in hand or something. I also run 3 Dodododraw. You send a Dododo monster from your hand or side of the field to the graveyard and then draw 2 cards. So you can do this with just dead Dododo monsters in your hand, or you can do it with ones already on the field. Like if I go for a Witch and then special summon a Swordsman face down, I can then draw off the Witch and keep going. Very nice card. And then 3 Reinforcement of the Army. It can search Clerk and any of your low-level Dododo monsters, so it increases consistency and helps you power through the deck. I also run 1 Dark Eruption. It just gets a Dark Monster, 1500 less attack from your graveyard back to your hand. I think you could run 2 because I found it was generally pretty live. I just liked it for getting back Sister or Magician or anything of that nature. And then lastly, I run Raigeki. Though you do have good removal with Gagagabolt, I like to have some non-targeting, like more broad removal in the form of Raigeki, so that's how I run that. And then for trap cards, I run 1 Xyz Reflect. When a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that targets an Xyz monster you control, you negate it, destroy it, and inflict 800 damage to your opponent. This deck has access to some really tough to remove monsters, such as Norito the Moral Leader, or Mechaphan Beast Dracosack, so having Xyz Reflect can take monsters already difficult to remove and just make it 10 times worse. I just ran 1 though. It's just kind of an experiment, and I'm still not totally sure if I'm going to stick with it or not. And then I just run a few 1-of traps, Vanities, Bottomless, Compulsory, and Solemn Warning. And that is it for the main deck. Alright, so moving on to the extra deck, I run 1 Cavalry Centaurea. I'm going to assume most people probably know what that guy does. Basically, he's just a really good offensive and defensive option, and he's a really great rank 2, definitely I think the best rank 2. And sometimes you're kind of forced to make rank 2s just because you'll draw something weird like a Child and a Clerk, and you're going to be forced into a situation where you need his normal one, special the other, make a rank 2. It's also a very good removal that doesn't destroy, so I like having the option. 1 1-up Zen mains, 1 wind-up Zen mains. It's just a nice standalone rank 3, and I decided to run it because our case is real open with like a Witch and Driver play, because I don't want to make a Gagaga push yet, or like I have a network or something that won't work until my board is clear. So Zen main is just a nice defensive option that I just didn't really feel any rank 4s or 5s are offering, so I'm trying it for now, though I didn't really make it too much. For rank 4s, I'm running 1 Cowboy and 1 Samurai. They're the actual Gagaga monsters. I mean, they can satisfy a draw and stuff. And Cowboy also just is very multi-purpose, and Samurai is great for OTKs, which the deck is actually surprisingly capable of doing. I also run 1 Castell and 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, just kind of additional rank 4s with various utilities. And then for rank 5, I'm run number 33 Konamli Makumek. I'm assuming most of you probably don't know what this does. Basically, once per turn you can detach material from it to target monster opponent controls whose current attack is different from its original attack. You inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference, and then this card gains attack equal to the damage you inflicted. This is mostly just here for an OTK that works with Gagaga Academy Network, and then either Magician or Girl. It's actually an OTK that I pulled off a surprising number of times when I went to locals. I think 4 games ended because of this OTK, which was pretty good. Basically, if you open with any combination of Magician and Academy Network, or Girl and Academy Network, doesn't matter which of these two you have, you activate the network, special summon the one you don't have out of the deck, normal summon the other one, call 5, match to 5, make Machu Mech. When Girl uses material, a monster opponent controls with a special monster becomes 0. You can then use Machu, detach, burn for the full attack, have Machu gain that full attack, and then run over for Machu's attack plus that monster's attack. If that monster that your opponent has that was special summoned has 2800 or more, that goes 8000 to zip in 1 turn. But I mostly use it just when my opponent already has some damage on them, and I'd like OTK it through a Cosmos Slip Rider or something, so... it's a fun little OTK, and it's definitely worth including a copy of the card. I also run one, number 61 Volcasaurus. It's just kind of another rank 5 that I would like to have the option to go into. I figure because I'm already running a large number of ranks 5 and 6 monsters, I was going to run a Gaia Dragon anyway, so it was worth running Volcasaurus rather than Tyrus, but that's really up to you. For rank 6s, I will run Norito, the Moral Leader. Once per turn during a player's turn, you can attach material from it to negate the activation of a spell or trap card and destroy it. Very simple. It's just a great way to shut down traps or spells or whatever. One Constellar Ptolemy M7. It's an amazing card. It truly is just amazingly good. It can bounce a monster from either player's field or graveyard back to the hand by attaching one material, so recycle your own stuff and make bigger plays by getting Sisters back. Bounce response monster, whatever. Absolutely great. One Draco Sack is just a good defensive rank 7. I didn't actually run Big Eye. I'm not sure if I'm going to ultimately, just because Draco Sacks can cover my rank 7 needs, but that's not something I can consider. One Gaia Dragon, because I'm running a plethora of rank 5 and 6 Xyz monsters, so if I try to make a push with like Machu Mech and it gets Fiendish Chained, being able to go into a Gaia Dragon and then continue the play is nice. One Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, because, you know, rank 8s are good, and if he's at 3100 attack, he's that much more difficult to get rid of from Revenge. One Phantom Fortress Enter Blathnir, it's the rank 9. Once per turn you can detach material from it to either banish a card from our opponent's hand, their side of the field, or the graveyard, or I believe banish the top card of their deck. Yeah. Basically, I either remove from the field, grave, or hand, usually from the field or hand, depending on circumstance. Just a really great card, it's huge too at 2900. And then lastly, I'm one rank 10 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. You can attach material from it to inflict 2000 damage to your opponent. It's a great game-ending card. And it definitely just makes the deck a lot more dangerous because with some decks it's like, oh, once you get below like 800 life points you're susceptible to Cowboy. With this deck, the second you drop below 2000 you're susceptible to Gustav Max. At 800 you are also susceptible to Cowboy, and anything less than, say, 6000 you're becoming very, very vulnerable to the Machu Mech shenanigans. So that's it for the deck. I think it's really fun. I had a lot of success with it, and I'd really recommend it to anyone who's looking to kind of pick up a deck that will stay at least, I think, casually decent for a long time, just because it's basically as good as the best decks these monsters are. It's also getting new support eventually, which will be really fun. So let me know what you think of the deck in the comments down below, and if you like the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, see ya!